How imagination creates reality is not a mystery to be solved. It is the oldest secret whispered by creation itself. Every sunrise, every face, every unfolding scene of your life is but the reflection of a dream once held in the unseen corridors of the mind. What you call the world is not a place you inhabit. It is the canvas upon which your imagination paints ceaselessly. Every brushstroke of thought, every hue of feeling becomes the landscape through which you walk. And until you awaken to this truth, you live as a traveler lost inside your own masterpiece. For imagination is not fantasy. It is the womb of all existence. It is the silent architect that builds the visible from the invisible. You do not see to believe. You believe, and then you see. This is the reversal that separates the sleeping from the awakened, the discovery that life does not happen to you, but through you. What you call circumstances are merely the echoes of forgotten assumptions, the ripples of a thought once accepted as real. When you begin to understand how imagination creates reality, you stop chasing results and start mastering states. The awakened man or woman no longer prays as a beggar before a distant sky, but as a creator standing before their own reflection. The secret is not in effort, but in assumption, in the quiet knowing that what is imagined with feeling must one day appear. The universe, in all its vastness, is obedient to the one who dares to imagine boldly and persistently. Not because imagination bends external forces, but because it is the force. It is law, as constant, as impartial, and as precise as gravity itself. Everything that exists began in someone's inner world first. The cathedral began as an image in the sculptor's mind, the empire as a vision in the heart of a dreamer. The love you long for, the success you pursue, the peace you crave, all are already alive in imagination, awaiting your consent to be real. To imagine is to plant the seed. To feel it real is to water it. And to persist is to harvest the inevitable. The universe is a mirror that never lies. It reflects not your wishes, but your state of being. A man who feels lack will see lack, even in the garden of plenty. A woman who feels unworthy will find rejection, even where love stands before her. For every scene of your life is a projection of the vibration you maintain within. You never see the world as it is, you see it as you are. This is how imagination creates reality. It is not through effort, but through identity. You do not manifest what you want. You manifest what you believe yourself to be. The words "I am" are the most powerful command in existence, for they summon creation to obey the image you attach to them. When you say, "I am free," the universe begins to rearrange itself to confirm your declaration. When you say, "I am trapped," it obeys with equal precision. There is no morality in the law, only reflection. It does not choose sides, it only reflects the tone of your inner conversation. Every event, every relationship, every outcome is but a line in the play authored by your imagination. So if the scene displeases you, do not curse the mirror. Change the image you project. Withdraw your attention from the unwanted and rest it upon the desired. What you cease to feed with feeling must fade, and what you nourish with conviction must grow. You are not a victim of reflection. You are the light that casts it. Imagine for a moment that life is a grand stage and you the unseen playwright. The characters, the plot twists, the triumphs and tragedies all unfold according to the script written in the chambers of your imagination. Most people, unaware of this authorship, try to rewrite the play from the stage itself. They shout, struggle, and rearrange props, yet the next act arrives unchanged because the true script remains untouched. To change your world, You must retire into the silence of being, close the curtain of the senses, withdraw from appearances, and step behind the scenes into imagination. There, feel yourself already possessing what you desire. Speak the words not as hope, but as decree. I am, not I wish to be. Feel it with the full weight of reality until the imagined scene becomes more vivid than the one you see with your eyes. Then release it. Let the universe perform its perfect obedience. You do not need to know how. The how belongs to the law. The what belongs to you. When the seed is planted, the soil does not ask how it shall grow. It simply yields to the rhythm of life. The same law governs imagination. That which you accept as true within must eventually find expression without. So stop asking for signs. They are only confirmations of what you have already believed. The external world is slow, that is all. It is the echo of what has already been declared in silence. When you live from the end must appear. Between desire and fulfillment lies no distance but belief. The moment you assume a thing to be true and feel its reality, you have crossed the bridge between imagination and manifestation. Time, then, becomes merely the servant that arranges the visible to match your inner decree. Most fail because they remain faithful to appearances rather than assumption. They look for evidence before they believe. But creation is faith turned into form. It is belief that precedes proof. The law does not yield to doubt, it yields to certainty. So when doubt comes, and it will come, treat it as the shadow that proves light is near. Stand firm in your inner vision. Speak not to the world of men, but to the unseen power that listens in silence, your imagination. For there is no other God. The creative source you seek is not in the heavens. It is the stillness behind your own eyes. Take a breath. Right now, in this quiet moment, imagine one scene, a single perfect moment that represents the fulfillment of your greatest desire. Do not analyze, simply see it, feel it, touch it with your inner senses. Hear the words you would hear if it were done. Let gratitude rise as though it has already happened. That feeling, that inner certainty, is creation itself. This is not pretense. It is truth wearing the robe of imagination. And as you hold that scene faithfully, even for a moment, you have altered the course of your world. The unseen now moves in your favor. For what is real in imagination must one day stand before you in flesh. Because this is the first revelation. The world does not change when you work harder. It changes when you remember you are its dreamer. The moment you understand how imagination creates reality, the world ceases to feel random. You begin to notice a sacred rhythm behind every event, a divine choreography responding to the unseen music of your thoughts. The coincidences, the delays, the sudden openings and closures, all of them reveal not chance, but reflection. Reality is not happening around you, it is flowing from you. The modern mind, obsessed with action and proof, seeks power in effort. It tries to change the outer world by rearranging appearances. But the awakened one knows all true power lies in assumption. To assume is to claim inwardly what the senses cannot yet confirm. It is to declare silently, I am that, even when reason laughs. The outer world may still echo the old belief, but within, the decree has been spoken, and the law must obey. Every act of assumption is an act of faith. Faith is not hope. Hope waits. Faith knows. Hope looks at the mountain and says, perhaps one day. Faith stands before it and whispers, It is already done. To live by assumption is to walk through life with divine confidence, not arrogance, but awareness. You no longer ask the world for permission to become who you are. You begin to walk as though every dream were already fulfilled. And because consciousness is law, the universe bends to reflect your conviction. There is a secret rhythm to manifestation that the sleeping mind cannot perceive. It believes that the seen creates the unseen, that conditions mold consciousness. But the awakened see it reversed. Consciousness molds conditions. When you shift your inner state, the outer world must follow. It cannot resist its cause. Imagine a projector casting an image on the wall. The sleeping person scrapes the wall, trying to erase what they dislike, unaware that the source lies in the light behind them. The awakened one turns inward and changes the slide. Assumption is the changing of the slide. If poverty appears, do not fight it. Assume wealth within. If loneliness lingers, do not chase affection. Assume love. If doubt whispers, do not argue with it. Assume certainty. The moment the inner image changes, the film begins to rewrite itself. The projection may take time to fade and reappear, but it must, for the screen cannot resist the hand of the one who holds the reel. So live as though your wish were already fulfilled. Walk, breathe, and speak from the end, from the feeling of already being the person you long to become. When you dress your consciousness in that feeling, reality bows to greet you. Most fail not for lack of will, but for lack of attention. Attention is the invisible thread that weaves imagination into form. Wherever your attention rests, your life flows. The sleeping mind scatters attention across 1,000 fears, desires, and distractions, feeding every passing image with emotional energy. It hopes for prosperity, but meditates on lack. It prays for love, but dwells on rejection. It asks for peace, but rehearses conflict. And the law, ever faithful, reflects not the words, but the focus. For imagination does not understand contradiction. It understands feeling. To master life, master your attention. Withdraw it from the undesired as you would pull your hand from fire. Do not fight thoughts of lack. Simply stop watering them. Every image you stop feeding must wither, for attention is the breath of creation. Then, gently and persistently, return your gaze to the state you wish to see manifested. Hold it not as a demand, but as a quiet knowing. Say within yourself, "It is done." When you learn to fix your attention on the feeling of fulfillment, life begins to mirror your faithfulness. This is the inner discipline the mystics called vigilance, the art of staying faithful to the invisible when the visible tempts you to doubt. Now we reach the most sacred art of all, silent acceptance. To the sleeping mind, acceptance sounds like resignation, but to the awakened, it is the final act of creation. When you feel something as real within, when you accept the wish as already fulfilled, you are no longer asking for it, you have decreed it. You have moved from prayer to command. In that moment, the invisible takes note, and the universe begins its rearrangement. Events shift, people appear, coincidences align, not because of struggle, but because the decree has been sealed. The true Creator does not chase signs, they become the sign. They do not seek proof, they live in proof. This is why Neville said, "Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and walk in that assumption. For when you do, the law has already received your order. Imagine yourself closing your eyes tonight, not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. Feel the stillness of completion. Rest in it. This inner calm is not weakness, it is mastery. The king does not shout his decree, he whispers, and the kingdom obeys. So too does imagination bow to the one who commands in silence. If you wish to live this truth, not as theory, but as power, join the 21-day challenge in the description below. For 21 days you will train your attention, refine your assumptions, and live as though your wish were already fulfilled. It is not a ritual, it is remembrance. Because when you remember who you are, the dreamer, not the dream, reality itself becomes your instrument. Now, return with me to the inner chamber, for the journey continues. When you first assume a new state, the world may not change immediately. It may, in fact, appear to rebel. Doubt may rise, circumstances may test you, and the old reality may whisper, "See, nothing has changed." But this is not failure, it is birth. When a seed is planted, the ground must first be disturbed. The soil breaks, the surface cracks, and only then does life emerge. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the old patterns begin to dissolve, making way for the new. What looks like chaos is often creation in motion. This is where persistence becomes holy. To persist is not to struggle, it is to remain faithful. Faithfulness means you refuse to betray your inner knowing, even when the senses shout their lies. Every time you hold the feeling of your wish fulfilled despite appearances, you shorten the distance between imagination and manifestation. The unseen threads are weaving your new world, though your eyes may not yet see it. So, when the test arrives, smile. It is not opposition, it is confirmation. It is life asking, "Do you still believe?" And if your answer is silence, calm, unwavering, certain, then time itself becomes your ally. Desire is the spark of creation, but it is not its completion. You must go beyond wanting into being. As long as you want, you affirm separation. But when you feel it as already yours, you merge with it. And what you have united with internally must appear externally. So the next time you find yourself asking, "When will it happen?" ask instead, "Who am I being right now?" If you are being the version of yourself who already possesses what you seek, then creation is already complete. The world simply has not caught up to your certainty. There is no effort in divine creation. There is only knowing. Silent acceptance is the art of resting in that knowing. It is to say without words, "I am already that. I have already received. It is done." And in that sacred stillness, the universe whispers back, "Yes." Picture the night sky, infinite stars scattered across eternity. Each one was once invisible, a pulse of light born in darkness, burning unseen until its radiance crossed time to reach your eyes. So too is every fulfilled desire. It is already burning somewhere in the unseen, already real in imagination. You are simply waiting for its light to arrive. So do not despair if you cannot yet see it. It exists, and your faith is the telescope through which it becomes visible. Because here lies the second revelation. You are not waiting for reality to change. Reality is waiting for you to remain. You have learned that imagination creates reality. You have seen how attention molds the world, how assumption moves mountains, and how silent acceptance seals creation. Now comes the final revelation, the realization of who you truly are. Everything you have ever manifested was born from one sacred center, the words, I am. Before thought, before form, before even the first heartbeat, there was awareness, the unspoken knowing, I exist. This is the divine spark hidden within every soul, the infinite disguised as an individual, the silent cause behind all causes. Every time you say, I am, you set creation into motion. You announce to existence what shall be drawn into form. Say, I am loved, and love begins its journey toward you. Say, I am free, and the chains of circumstance begin to melt. Say, I am doomed, and even heaven will respect your decree. For the law does not choose, it only reflects. It is the faithful mirror of the image you hold of yourself. You are not a beggar at the gates of destiny. You are destiny itself, learning to speak. All the power you once worshipped as external has always been your own awareness. The God you sought in the sky was the imagination whispering within you. And so, to say, I am with conviction, is to speak the ancient language of creation. Every manifestation begins not with desire, but with identity. You cannot permanently possess what you do not first become. To manifest wealth, you must feel yourself to be prosperous long before the evidence appears. To manifest love, you must feel yourself to be loved, not by another, but by the divine essence within. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. When you change the name you answer to in consciousness, life reintroduces itself to match your new vibration. You can say 1,000 affirmations, but if they do not rest upon a changed identity, they remain words in the wind. Creation does not answer repetition, it answers embodiment. The moment you feel the truth of a new identity, when your emotions, thoughts, and inner dialogue harmonize with it, the law is fulfilled. Reality has no choice but to conform. Imagine a man who once lived in poverty. He studies the law, and one night in stillness, he says within, I am abundance. At first, his reason mocks him, the world contradicts him, and his senses cry, liar! But he persists. Each morning he rises with the feeling of wealth, though his pockets are empty. He acts not to prove, but to express his new self. And soon, doors open, opportunities appear, chance becomes precision. Because he did not chase money, he became prosperity itself. You are never rewarded for effort, but for embodiment. Many stumble at this stage. They assume the feeling once, and when the world resists, they surrender. But the law tests every conviction, not to punish, but to purify. Persistence is the bridge between assumption and embodiment. It is the quiet, unwavering decision to remain in the end, to live as though the wish were already fulfilled, even when every shadow screams the opposite. When Neville faltered, Abdullah would say, remain in the end. It is the simplest and yet most powerful command. To remain in the end is to stand unshaken in storms of doubt. It is to know that every delay is only the echo of an old state dissolving. It is to smile at contradiction, for you know the truth is already written. Persistence is not struggle, it is serenity. It does not demand, it remembers. It does not push, it trusts. Each day you dwell faithfully in the state of your fulfilled desire, the invisible threads of reality weave themselves anew. Coincidences begin to multiply, not as miracles, but as mathematics. For law cannot fail. The moment you stop looking for evidence, the evidence arrives, because the watcher has become the one who knows. Try this tonight. Before sleep, when the mind is still and the body heavy, whisper silently to yourself the words, I am. But do not attach them to the old names, the anxious, the waiting, the broken. Attach them to the divine image. I am whole. I am complete. I am the dream realized. Feel these words as though they were ancient truth returning to you. Let them fill your chest until sleep takes you into their embrace. When you wake, walk as the being you declared yourself to be. Do not wonder if it worked. It has. The seed is already planted. Now persist. Soon life will conspire to reveal what was born in the silence of your mind. You will meet yourself on the stage of the world, clothed in the reality you once only imagined. This is how imagination creates reality, not through effort, but through identity made flesh. Every creation is a mirror reflecting back to you the words you speak within. The lover who leaves, the fortune that comes, the door that opens, the obstacle that blocks. Each is a messenger of your own assumption. The universe is not against you. It is you wearing disguise. So stop fighting reflections. Bless them, for they reveal the shape of your own consciousness. And when they no longer serve you, change the cause, not the effect. Close your eyes and declare anew, I am that. Not as hope, but as truth. Not as a wish, but as remembrance. Because nothing can be added to the one who already is. There is no power outside you. Every miracle that has ever been recorded, every healing, every deliverance, every divine encounter, was imagination clothed in faith. The Father and the kingdom are within, and when you finally believe this, your search ends. You stop waiting for signs. You stop asking heaven for what is already yours. You begin to live in silent authority, not to boast, but to rest. The awakened Creator prays without words. Their every feeling is prayer, their every assumption a decree. When the world says, it cannot be done, the awakened smiles and answers silently, it is already finished. This calm is not indifference, it is dominion. For one who knows they are cause no longer reacts to effects. They do not rush, they remember. They do not plead, they declare. They do not fear the storm, they command the wind. And here lies the grand secret. You and the world are not two. The dreamer and the dream are one. The ocean and the wave are the same water. The Creator and the creation are forever entwined in one infinite dance. The separation you feel is illusion. The outer world is but your imagination turned inside out. What you accept within, lovingly, faithfully, persistently, must appear without. When you truly grasp this, there is no more resistance, no more despair. You see that life is not against you, it is for you, always confirming the truth of who you believe yourself to be. So choose wisely what you call yourself. Say, I am, and then fill the blank with divinity. Now, close your eyes. Imagine yourself standing in the center of the universe, stars spiraling in slow, silent reverence around you. Everything you have ever known, joy, sorrow, triumph, loss, circles you like planets around a sun. You realize in a moment of awe that they are not orbiting you, they are orbiting your state. They are reflections of the one who imagines. You are not a fragment of the cosmos. The cosmos is the dream of your imagination. Every sunrise, every heartbeat, every answered prayer is your consciousness made visible. And when you whisper, I am, the galaxies themselves listen. because creation has only one command, and it is this: as you assume, so shall you appear. So from this moment, cease asking, begin declaring. Cease waiting, begin being. Cease doubting, begin remembering, for the invisible will bow, time will yield, and the impossible will become natural. The miracle you seek is not in tomorrow, it is in your awareness now. And one who knows this law never again fears life, because they have finally discovered that life itself is their imagination in expression. If these words have awakened something within you, and you wish to go deeper, to live these truths daily, join the 21-day challenge below and walk with others who are remembering the same power. And if you wish to support the channel and receive early access to future journeys, become a channel member today. Because the story of creation is not finished. It is being written right now by the one listening to these words, by the one who dares to say in silence, I am.